gonna go into that.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
We always start on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, Wednesday.
Yeah,
That one? All
Okay.
right, next on the calendar, no, we're at unpaid meals.
Okay.
I didn't have chocolate.
Unpaid.
Slates.
She has that one? Yes.
All right. We all? All right.
You'll be in me, Jim.
It's gonna be my jammies all day tomorrow. I'm gonna
So,
get out one set of jammies and put
as you
on
know,
another set.
CIAB was charged by Janine with coming up with solutions for recouping the money that we found. We got together and we did talk, and I did some research on some other solutions. And one of the problems, one of the issues I think also is increasing the number of families in free and reduced lunch. So just for some background, I got information over the last 5 years of how much was owed, and it comes out to almost $177,000 over 5 years. And as you can see, though, the average is only $17.87 per account. But the amounts that's owed range from 4 cents to $735. Yeah, exactly. So
Is that a cumulative?
that's no, that is if as we talked about today, if every year is its own individual year, that is the highest amount. But I think that was in the 16-17 years.
That one student owed $700.
Yes, yeah, and could possibly, I wasn't able to easily manipulate the data to find out across the years how much they owed. So that one family could theoretically owe over $1,000. So what CIAB talked about was paying a stipend to one of our social workers to reach out to these families to talk to them about their debt. I'm going to set up a payment plan and to assist them with applying for free and reduced lunch. When I talked to Janine about this, she also said there might be other things like the dental program or something like that. Some the dental work when you, me, and Trish met. Yeah, you said something. Or there might be other things at the social work.
Oh, maybe other health services?
Right. Yeah. So that's actually something I like. Like we have talked about having debt collection basically going on, and I see this as two ways. One is the soft approach, and the second is the hard approach. The social worker and setting up payment plans is the soft approach. Another thing that other districts have done is that families who have leftover funds in their accounts can donate it to pay for the families that couldn't reach it. And also one other thing I think we need to do is we need to get the application on the website, and as you can see, the Food and Nutrition Service, I think that's what it is, has a prototype for a website that with specific instructions on how to incorporate it into your website. So
Is that, you're talking about Educate for Free and Reduced, or?
Yeah.
So the application itself is currently online. I think
Right.
what Jeff is talking about is you can get a program to do the application online. So we do have it online, but you
it's a
have to
PDF
print it, you
right.
have to send it to us, it's a process, whereas what I think he's talking about is
Okay.
you
Yeah,
do the
That would
form
be easier.
online.
yeah, right. Yeah.
It is costly, obviously would still come out of the lunch fund, but we can certainly do that.
Okay.
NutriKids has a program, there's other programs that do have a similar program.
Okay. Good.
So who would be approving those forms?
They go to Aramont.
We would still get them,
Oh, okay.
but they would just fill out the form online.
Oh,
NutriKids has, there's other, Jim, you know the other programs, right?
Well, we have two other solutions.
Yeah.
Right now, we build our own online applications, and we use that for registering for school and use it for address changes. We could do the same thing for school lunch. And we're also budgeting for next year registration gateway which will allow us to do the same thing, probably in a better, easier, more user-friendly manner.
Yeah.
So that's also available.
So that's that method, and then NutriKids, the program that we use for our POS system, also has a system that we can use. So there's multiple avenues that we can go to, it's just a matter of how do we wanna do it, so.
The biggest difficulty is that the school lunch form changes every year.
Yes.
Right.
And it doesn't get posted until late August or mid-August. Some years, I've actually done it when it came out in October.
Wow.
So, and it's really not what the people fill out on the lunch form that changes, it's the information about the program that changes. So I think we
The
could
info
probably
notes.
still use because,
The general information.
yeah, we can still use
Yeah,
the same
address,
form every
yeah.
year, but just what prints out would have to be adjusted.
So the answer is yes, it is possible to do it online.
Good, okay, great. And then after I'm gonna skip down to the last one. In my research, I found out that that it is possible for the district to complete the application on behalf of a child. I don't know if you've ever done this, but what it says, what it basically says is you can't do it for a group of children, but you can do it for individual children. Like you see, I have that link is a link to a document that talks about solutions for unpaid meals. So if you go to page 30 of that link, it's a PDF. You'll see what I'm talking about. I can talk to you afterwards about it and show it to you. But
Who in the district completes this application?
Principal.
principle, yeah.
And
The principal can determine, you can do it. It is shunned upon a little bit because it is kind of one of those things that,
information, but.
well, it's more of,
Right.
I believe I had suggested it to Mrs. Bonanno at Gladstone. There was a group of families that had come over, had no English capability, so she had asked me about it, and I did suggest you can do it. I wouldn't do it for a vast majority of
Right.
students, but you can do it if you know that family just came over from whatever country or wherever, and they don't have the means to fill out that information, that's when you would use that. But it wouldn't be, oh, I know they were free last year, so I'm gonna make sure that they're
Right.
free this year. You
Right.
can't do it like that.
Right.
It would be extreme circumstances, so to speak.
It goes back into individual basis.
Yes.
But this wouldn't be applying for them without their knowledge. This would be doing the application for them?
Yes and no.
You can-
We would
Need
have,
help.
no matter what, the family would get a letter saying they were free, just like every other letter, every other student gets a letter. So it's,
I guess I'm just curious because I know that the free and reduced program guidelines follow SNAP guidelines, which fall under Medicaid. And we couldn't ever fill out a Medicaid application for a student without their parents' knowledge, so.
right, I mean, it's extreme circumstances. So if a principal really knows that this family should be free, they're homeless or whatever the case is, you can do it. It's not really something it's not really publicized, it's not really something they wanna say, oh, every principal should go ahead and fill out an application, because you know that child was
Right.
free last year. That's not how it works.
Okay.
It's more of an extreme circumstance. It's probably not gonna happen all that frequently. Because if you do have an application that is filled out when you get either the auditors right now are checking the applications, either the auditor that is yearly from the district auditor or the RIDE auditors, if they see that we're doing that with multiple applications, we could get in
Right.
severe trouble and penalized for things that
Okay, yeah, that was
we
one
were
thing I
trying
was
to do
wondering.
honestly, but didn't end up working out
Right,
that way.
So, long story short now, with that information, is that we need to be careful when doing this, but it is possible to do.
Yeah.
And then finally for the debt collections, at the wellness committee, Trish presented it wasn't a debt collector per se, but it was the letters that they sent out were like a debt collection letters saying if you don't do this, there are going to be consequences. They had a hard and soft approach, and I think it cost like $11
It
for each.
depends on how many we send them.
Right.
So if we send them, I believe it was 500, then it would be about $11. But it depends on how many accounts we send them.
Right,
So if we
right.
send them 1,000 accounts,
Right.
then it'll be lower. If we
Right,
send
okay.
them 200 accounts,
Okay.
then it'll be higher. So it's a variable
Yeah,
scale.
then one thing I do know as far as the number of accounts, like, I couldn't get it across years to find out what family owes what. But there was, over the 5 years, there are over 9,900 different lines, different accounts, that debts that are owed. So there's a significant amount out there that we could probably send, I don't know, 2,000 maybe? I'm just
I
ballparking,
would
but,
say yes.
yeah.
And you wouldn't wanna necessarily send under a certain amount of dollars.
Right, yeah, that's how we did, yeah.
I think the gentleman suggested not less than $10.
Right.
I would suggest that we would do like 25
Right,
or
right.
something, but
That's
I
actually
mean,
one of the questions. I had.
whatever, I will do whatever you ask me to do.
Mhm.
This is your policy,
Right.
if you ask us to do this, we will certainly do whatever you ask us to do.
Right, okay. And Janice, did you do any research on debt collection companies? What did you find?
So for the majority of them, they are a flat fee agency. They don't collect commission until they actually collect fee. So or collect debt. So it turns into, there's a proportionate rate of, it's like 10%, 15%, depending on, again, how many you're sending them and how much is collected. They do keep a portion of the money. However,
Plus a flat rate?
no.
Okay, it's just a portion, okay.
So there's a couple of, there's the flat fee, then there is they charge on, so there's two separate things that you can do. They do letters, they can do letters, it depends on how many you want them to do. They will do letters, they do not report this to credit agencies. It does not affect people's credit ratings or credit scores or come across as a negative on any of that stuff unless that's an option that is chosen. But that's not something that we really, need to do. But it's a soft reach out, they do. So they're not coming after you and breaking down your doors or anything like that. It's just a reminder that, you owe these fees and, there's a matter of, they can, once it's paid or once we have indicated that we're, satisfied with the amount that we received back from a family, then they stop. They don't, they stop. If the family gets up to a certain amount again, we have the option to turn that back on. If they're still an account, they don't get charged again as it's just a one-time. So there's some different options for how that can work.
And the only way they're being paid is by a percentage of what the
That's-
agency takes in.
Correct, because honestly, I don't think that in this case, we wanna do any kind of upfront fee. I think we're better off, because if we look at it and we say, our $57,000,
Right.
even if we get half of that back,
Right,
that's,
Half is better than.
half is better than
Right,
nothing
right.
every single
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
With no, so I mean, I think it's an option that we shouldn't,
Sean?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's
you're
the
right.
only option, and I wouldn't say that it's the only option for people, but we do already spend a lot of
Mhm.
time, with result, but
Yeah.
not with money, the amount of money coming in that should be coming back.
And just, I know you were also present at the wellness meeting. Trish, you brought up an agency. Is this the same agency
Well-
working together on?
No, the
No.
one
Yeah.
that Jeff was referring to is
Yeah.
that agency, but Janice did her own research.
Similar.
Yeah,
But it depends on which agency, I don't know if we'd have to go out to an RFP, I don't know
yeah,
that.
we would probably need to go out
Yeah.
to an RFP, there are, Rhode Island is really funny because they're really strict with, collection agencies, so that's a good thing for us because they have to be, licensed, they have to be insured, so, I mean, there's protections for the families, there's protections for us, so that, we know that it's a reputable place doing these things, and there are other districts that do this, not in Rhode Island, but, there are, I just think that not the only means, but I think when we have recurring or repeat offenders and nothing's getting done, and it's just rolling over every year, that it's, it's one of two things. One, they're not filling out a free and reduced application, and there's a variety of reasons why people aren't doing it. And, I understand some of them, and to say, people are afraid now is not, they're afraid to put their name on something that may, lead them to something else, and I get that, and there's a matter of, maybe the pride thing that, you know, stops people from doing it, and I get that too. But, you know, we're also not, you know, in the business of, we can't afford
Right.
for this to be coming out of our general fund every year. We can't afford it, it's a salary. It's a salary of, you know, of a social worker that could be doing, you know, work for multiple, you know, families. And so it's just, I don't think it's something that we should not
Mhm.
at least try in.
So I have a couple questions specifically for you, Trish. So people that are on SNAP are automatically opted in.
Yes.
So are we capturing those
Yes.
people?
So
Okay.
there's two different methods. So there is one method that Jim gets the electronic list and and Don Marie uploads it into NutriKids, and that's monthly. Those kids automatically are listed as directly certified students. Then there is another method that we get a letter. If the letter states you must submit this to the school,
Right.
they have to submit it just like an application, but they don't have to fill out an application. So that's where some of the disconnect is. The RIDE is trying to make it so that they don't have those letters stating that you have to submit the letter. But for the most